2018, of all the years, it was one of them, and like all other years that happen in the world, there are movies, and I have 10 that came out in 2018 that I liked. So here are my top 10 movies of 2018. Before we start, a few things to keep in mind. One, this is entirely my opinion. It's all my opinion, all my thoughts, all my feelings. If you don't like it, then get out. Second thing, I haven't seen everything that came out in 2018. I missed out on a lot of movies because trying to see everything in theaters while being a full-time college student, it's kind of difficult. So in the description, I put a lot of the critically acclaimed and commercially acclaimed movies that came out in the year that I just didn't get a chance to see. Lastly, before we begin, I got some honorable mentions that I want to give you because I can't include everything that I liked onto the top 10, so here are the movies that I liked but didn't quite make the cut. My honorable mentions are A Quiet Place, Deadpool 2, Isle of Dogs, Mandy, Incredibles 2, Overlord, Bumblebee, and a special honorable mention to BoJack Horseman because it's not a movie, it's a Netflix series, but I just love the show so much and season 5 was so good, so I figured I might as well put it on the honorable mentions even though it can't really qualify for the top 10, even though it probably would make it onto the top 10 if it were classified as a movie, but it's not, so oh well. Let's go! My 10th favorite film of 2018 is actually multiple movies put into one, The Ballad of Buster Scruggs. This is a Coen Brothers directed and written film made for Netflix. That's a collection of 6 different short films that all take place around the Western pioneer era. All of these shorts are beautifully shot and beautifully written with some fantastic performances throughout, and I just love the Coen Brothers writing style. They're so clever, dark, funny, and they have a great knack for building suspense. Every single short that they put is just gripping, even though the pacing does vary from short to short. I saw this movie twice. First time I just liked it. Second time I absolutely loved it. It's a film that really grows on you the more you think about it and the more times you watch it. It's not going to be for everybody. I know that some people are complaining it for being slow and inconsistent with the shorts, but I thought it was great. I loved all 6 shorts. My favorite one would probably have to be short number 4. I don't know, it's just something about mining for gold that's just gripping. But yeah, it's really good. Quality stuff. Good job, Coen Bros. Up next is, in my opinion, one of the more underappreciated movies of 2018, Bad Times at the El Royale. This is definitely a Quentin Tarantino-inspired film, and I don't really mind because I love this movie. I love that the way the story is told, where it's following one story, but taking from the perspective of all the different characters, each with their own just really insane and just clever backstory. The writing is great, the characters are great, the way that all the actors play off of each other is just super gripping throughout, and that cinematography and production design are just mwah, mwah, mwah. I love the look of the hotel. It's just a beautiful movie. Very entertaining to watch, a lot of fun just throughout. Even though it does drag a little bit near the end, I didn't mind because I was just thoroughly invested throughout, and it makes me sad that the movie didn't get the attention and the critical acclaim that it deserves because it's good, in my opinion. It's good. Alright, important question. How is the Mission Impossible franchise still good? Like, this is the 6th movie in the franchise, and it's probably the best one. I don't get it. How is this possible? How is this a feasible thing? Mission Impossible Fallout takes everything established from the previous Mission Impossible movies and just enhances it. The stunts and the action scenes are even more exciting and gripping than they normally are. The characters are all incredibly likable, the performances are all great, and the movie as a whole is just so much fun to watch. I love the winding, convoluted story that it has, and it's just so much fun. Like, it's fun. I gotta say, it's just fun. I can't help it. It's fun. The stakes have never been as high as this movie establishes, and the way that this movie plays with this growing intensity throughout is just immaculate. This movie is really incredible. Like, the stunts in particular are So good, easily some of the best in the entire franchise. While my personal preference is still more leaning towards Rogue Nation, I can't deny that Fallout is probably the best in the whole franchise so far. Let's see where they go from here. Alright, now this is the movie that probably grew on me more than any other movie that I saw in 2018. Hereditary. I liked it a lot when I saw it, but the more I thought about it, the more it just crept up on me, and now I absolutely love it. The production design and the cinematography are beautiful, and the performances are all so good, especially from Toni Collette, who gives probably my personal favorite performance of the year. The fact that she didn't get nominated for a Golden Globe is just kind of baffling to me, because she definitely deserved one, and the fact that she didn't get one it's not cool. It's just not cool. I think what's most impressive about Hereditary is that how much it got under my skin. I will be honest, I'm not super well versed in horror movies, because back when I was a little baby child, I was a coward and didn't like watching scary movies. But now that I'm older and have a much bigger film palette, I can handle horror movies now. And most of the movies that I saw I didn't find scary. Sure, some of them I found to be tense, but nothing really scary. Hereditary I found freaking terrifying at points. Like, it is definitely the most unnerved that I felt watching a horror movie. That'll probably change when I watch more horror movies, but as of right now, Hereditary, you get the gold star. You did it. I'm proud of you. My number 6 pick is a smaller movie. You may or may not have heard of it. It's called Avengers Infinity War. Avengers Infinity War is the peak of the Marvel movies. They have all built up into this huge spectacle of a movie, and I think it paid off. The way that the movie balances all the characters is very impressive, considering that there are so many characters, and they all play off so well with each other. The dialogue between the characters is very entertaining. The action scenes are thrilling. The movie has a great balance of comedy and drama, considering this has the highest stakes that any of the Marvel movies have ever had. And freaking Thanos, yes, killing it. I loved Thanos in this movie. He was threatening yet sympathetic. Josh Brolin did a great job playing him, and he was just absolutely gripping to watch throughout the movie. He stole the show. There are so many characters in the movie, and yet Thanos steals the show. Freaking purple chin looking Josh Brolin. It's just so good. And it makes me very curious what they're going to do with Endgame, because as of the recording and release of this video, Endgame has not come out yet. So we will see where this franchise takes. Alright, so here's a slight change of pace, going from one of the biggest film crossovers of all time to a quirky little indie dramedy about a girl graduating 8th grade. We have 8th grade. I kind of said it with the lead-in. I'm terrible at this. Bo Burnham is a comedian that I very much enjoy, and this is his first foray into making a movie, acting as the director and the writer, and I gotta say he did a really good job. His directing shows a lot of promise with a natural eye behind the camera, and his writing is impeccable. The way he nails life being in 8th grade is just so endearing and quirky and awkward in all the right ways. The performances are all great. Elsie Fisher in particular as the lead is just incredible. She fully embodies what it's like being in 8th grade, even though I was not an 8th grade girl. And I feel like this is a movie that pretty much everyone can relate to, especially considering the awkwardness of 8th grade is strong, and this movie just captures it perfectly. The writing is great, the performances are great, just everything about this movie is great. It's endearing, it's quirky, it's funny, it's dramatic, it's just so good. And I really hope Bo Burnham gets more work as a director and a writer in film in the future. Just missing out on the top 3, we have The Favorite. Easily one of the oddest, most bizarre movies I saw the entirety of 2018. This is a movie that is just strange. The writing is strange. The performances are strange. The presentation of this movie is strange, but it works so well. Like, every single part of the movie just culminates into this one just strange, odd masterpiece. Like, all the performances are phenomenal. Olivia Colman as Queen Anne in particular, I think probably gives the best performance of the entirety of 2018. The way that this movie uses camera angles and this weird, like, 360 thing, I don't know what it's called, but it's just gives this movie such a strange, bizarre look, but I just loved it. And the production design and the music are just absolutely gorgeous to watch. The costumes as well. This movie just brings this 18th century world to life, and I absolutely loved it. It was a little bit awkward watching it with my parents, but, you know, it is what it is. Earning the bronze medal is A Star is Born. Now, have I seen the previous A Star is Born movies? No, I haven't. Do I care? I mean, yeah, kind of. I mean, I would like to see them, at least maybe the original. Probably not the one with Barbra Streisand, because I hear that one's but I hear the original's a film classic. I am judging A Star is Born based on what this movie gave us, and what this movie gave us I thought was just fantastic. This is Bradley Cooper's directorial debut, and I think he did a magnificent job. I just love the visual presentation of the movie, and I also love how every time they're performing, it's always from the perspective of them on stage. It never cuts to from the audience, which I thought was very smart. All the performances were amazing. I thought Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga had excellent chemistry, and the songs were all really good and helped bring this theme of love and overcoming struggles to life. I thought this was just a very great movie. It was beautiful, it was intimate, it was hard to watch at times, it was sad, and it was just very powerful. I absolutely loved it. Coming in at number 2 is not only my favorite comic book movie of 2018, but also my favorite animated movie of 2018. I don't know why I did that with my hands, but I don't care. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I also don't know why I did that with my hand. Why are my hands on my hips? Everything is just falling apart right now. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is just fantastic. The animation is beautiful and vibrant and stylish, and the way the colors just pop out at you is just so good, and the way that all these different animation styles come together makes for just a very visually stunning movie. And the movie isn't style over substance either. The story at its heart is just very, very solid and well written. There's so much heart to it and so much really, really good comedy. This movie is freaking hilarious. I was laughing my butt off throughout the entirety of the movie. I loved all the characters and the way they interacted with each other. The action was so fun to watch, and the movie just really encaptures superheroes so well. This is the ultimate comic book movie. It literally looks like it's just jumping right out of the pages of a comic book. It's so much fun to watch. It's so entertaining. I saw it twice in the same weekend, as well as another time a couple weeks later. It's so good. It's the one movie, I think, in 2018 that I saw 3 times. I think I might have seen another movie 3 times, but definitely that one I saw 3 times. It's so good. So much fun. I absolutely loved it. So, a little bit about me, because you obviously want to know something about me, because I'm important. No, I'm not. I've technically been reviewing movies since 2013. A lot of my reviews early on were just kind of like written for fun. Some of them I put on these random movie reviewing websites that no one would ever see. Eventually, I started writing reviews for my high school journalism website, and now I'm writing movie reviews for my college newspaper, and now I have a website where I put a bunch of movie reviews on a blog, which you can find the link to in the description. Haha, self-promotion. So I've been doing this for quite a while. I'm not like a high-class movie reviewer or anything. It's just something that I enjoy doing. But usually every time I start thinking about what are my favorite movies of the year, I always have like a really tough time choosing between a couple movies. Like for 2016, I had a hard time choosing between La La Land and Arrival. I chose La La Land because, you know, predictable. For 2017, I had a hard time choosing between Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri and Logan, which I eventually chose Logan because predictable. But yeah, usually I have a really hard time choosing what my favorite movie of any year is. 2018, I did not have that struggle. For me, it was easy to choose what my favorite movie of 2018 was. It's Roma. Roma is just a masterpiece. I absolutely adore this movie. You can tell that director, writer, and cinematographer Alfonso Cuarón this was a passion project for him, and it just exudes through the screen. The camera work is just gorgeous with these beautiful sweeping shots of Mexico City, and the fact that they filmed on location is just great because you can really see the city just boom to life at every single shot. All the performances were just absolutely fantastic, and they felt so real, which is especially surprising considering almost the entire cast is non-professional actors. Most of them, in fact, this is their first ever movie that they've ever done, which is awesome. This movie really focuses on a whole bunch of simple things, like you'll see shots of the main character cleaning up dog poop in the driveway or shutting off all the lights in the house. It just focuses on these simple things, and it may seem pointless, but it just shows how much of a visionary this director is, and it also just adds to this story, this very intimate, beautiful story that is just full of so much genuine laughter and just hope and purity, yet it's so sad and depressing and dark at points. It's just, this movie impacted me like no other movie in 2018 did. It's simple yet complex, it's very lighthearted yet heavy. It's so good. You have to watch this movie. It's a movie that's kind of hard to talk about because not a whole lot happens, and yet so much happens. It's a masterpiece. It's honestly a masterpiece. I've seen this movie twice now, and I can definitely say it's one of the best movies I've ever seen, just in general. I'd probably put it in top 10 somewhere. I'll have to think about it, as well as what other movies I love that much are. But yeah, Roma is just incredible. I freaking adore this movie. You have to watch Roma. It's on Netflix, so you have no excuse not to, unless you don't have Netflix, which I guess is a pretty good excuse. But get Netflix just for Roma. I'm kidding, don't do that. Get Netflix for the watch Roma. It's good. Okay, bye.